Textile and clothing sector is one of the oldest industries in India. According to the Indian Brand Equity Foundation, the close linkage of the textile industry to agriculture and the ancient culture and traditions of the country makes the sector unique in comparison to the industries of other countries. The Indian fashion industry is estimated around $150 billion and expected to reach $223 billion by 2022. The industry also employs over 45 million people directly to 60 million people indirectly. It contributes approximately 5% to India's GDP and 14% to overall index of industrial production. It is also one of the largest contributors to India's export with approximately 12% of total export amounting $42.24 billion. The growth in the apparel sector is also being driven by increasing tech savviness among consumers. 10 years ago, technology was for the few, with just 5 million smartphones in a country of 1.2 billion people and only 45 million internet users. In 2021, more than 900 million Indian consumers are online. E-commerce leaders are moving to solutions based on artificial intelligence. Personalization and curation based on personal taste will become a lot more important. It's not about having the largest selection, it's about presenting the most appropriate selection to the customer involved. The supply side of the industry is equally robust, and the growth of textile and apparel exports is expected to accelerate. In short, the Indian market offers great promise. Despite structural challenges that include inequality, infrastructure, and market fragmentation, we expect that strong economic growth, scale, and rising tech savviness will combine to make the country the next big global opportunity in fashion and apparel.
Let's move to market segmentation. In marketing, market segmentation is the process of dividing a broad consumer or business market, normally consisting of existing and potential customers, into subgroup of consumers based on some type of shared characteristics. It is imperative because it allows the business to come up with appropriate strategies depending on the segmentation. The fashion industry market can be segmented based on various criteria, but only three are most pertinent based on their value addition to a specific group of consumers, which subsequently give the variables that companies will have to address in their business models. These are: first is price-based segmentation. Price segmentation involves charging different prices to different customers for a product or service that is the same or similar. It is a strategy that is very common, as customers will face different prices when going to cinemas or when using vouchers in different shops. The airline industry uses price segmentation effectively all the time, as customers rarely pay the same price for a particular seat. The next is demographic-based segmentation. Demographic segmentation refers to the categorization of the target market based on specific variables like age, education, and gender. It is a type of market segmentation that helps businesses to understand their consumers better and meet their needs effectively. Demographic segmentation allows businesses to be more strategic and specific with marketing. A one-fit-all marketing strategy will likely not appeal to every member of your target market because different individuals have different preferences. What appeals to consumer A may not attract consumer B. The last one that we would discuss is geographic segmentation. Geographic segmentation involves segmenting your audience based on the region they live or work in. This can be done in any number of ways, grouping customers by country they live in, or smaller geographical divisions from region to city and right down to postal code. Now we will look at the price-based segmentation in detail. Price is a very crucial factor in almost all industries and is an even more sensitive factor for consumer products. Based on price, the fashion market can be segmented into 5 areas: haute couture, pret-à-porter, diffusion, bridge, and mass market. Let's move to haute couture. Haute couture refers to the creation of exclusive fashions. It is a common term for custom-fitted clothing as produced primarily in Paris but also in other fashion capitals such as New York, London, and Milan. Haute couture is not only made to order for a specific customer, but it is usually made from high-quality, expensive fabric and sewn with extreme attention to detail and finishing, often using time-consuming hand-executed techniques. Next is ready-to-wear or pret-à-porter. Pret-à-porter clothing provides the public with high-end clothing made in small quantities to guarantee exclusivity, but it's not made for individual clients. It is intended to be worn without significant alteration and made in standard sizes that fits most people. Designers use standard patterns, factory equipment, and certain construction techniques that keeps costs lower when compared to custom-sewn versions of the same item. Next is diffusion. A diffusion line is a secondary line of merchandise created by a high-end fashion house or fashion designer that retails at lower prices. These ranges are separate from a fashion house's signature line or principal artistic line that typically retails at much higher prices. Bridge. It is a bridge between better and designer. Bridge is usually the lower priced or secondary line of fashion designers. It's a word retailers coined to describe clothes priced to bridge the gap between expensive and moderate. Next is mass market. Mass market clothing is manufactured in large quantities and made available for the open market. This clothing is typically available in standard sizes with many copies of the same design. As there is a large demand for this type of apparel, becoming a mass market fashion designer is the most rewarding at the moment. Now we would look at these price-based segmentations in detail. We would start with haute couture. Let's understand it with the help of a diagram. Haute couture or high fashion is the pinnacle of fashion and the ultimate expression of fashion as an art. This segment consists almost entirely of exclusive French coutures that specialization in handmade, made-to-measure one-off pieces for the most exclusive ceremonies and events for extremely affluent personalities. Sometimes companies even gift such pieces to these affluent personalities, not just as a token of goodwill, but because it serves as a great marketing platform for the brand, as these events are usually covered by several media outlets with great reach and create a perception of the brand as something to aspire for in the consumer market, which may help drive sales of other mass market products that the company may offer or just increase brand awareness. The products in this segment are typically around 50,000 euros. The extreme prices are justified by the craftsmanship, exclusivity, and quality of materials used. Examples would include Armani Pride, Valentino, Chanel, Christian Dior, Essay, etc. Another characteristic that is to be noted for haute couture is that it's extremely low sales volume but very high profit margins and serves as an image builder for the brand. This was all about haute couture. Next, we would move to pret-a-porter or ready-to-wear. Let's bring the diagram from before. Ready-to-wear, as the same name suggests, is ready-made products but with a high degree of creativity and fashion similar to haute couture, but the difference is that it combines high fashion with industrialization, while still upholding good craftsmanship. Products are typically manufactured in Italy or France to the same extent. This segment was pioneered by Italian manufacturers in the 70s in order to increase sales volume. The products in these segments are not one-offs as the process is industrialized, but still have a great degree of designer's expression and in the segment that designers exhibit at fashion shows. Examples for this would include Chanel, Dior, etc. The products in this segment also have higher diversity in terms of occasions of use and can even have daily wear or work wear clothing, unlike haute couture which specializes in high-profile ceremonies and occasions. The price bracket in this segment is typically 3 to 5 times the mass market price. Although it is still significantly expensive, it costs substantially less than haute couture products. The sales volume is higher than haute couture but still substantially less than mass market levels while still maintaining high profit margins. Next, we would move to the diffusion. Let's bring the diagram again. This segment was heralded in the 80s by American and Italian companies to further increase their sales volume by introducing clothing at affordable prices for mainstream customers. Companies in the pret-a-porter segment did this by introducing second-line brands that branch from established parent brands such as Marc by Marc Jacobs, Versace by Versace, and DKNY from Donna Karan. Products are more affordable as production is made very wide and manufacturing is also outsourced. The products are also more general in terms of occasion or usage. In products in this segment can include sneakers and jeans and even t-shirts. Fashion inspirations are driven from higher tier categories and products are associated with those brands to create a more persuasive brand image. Examples would include Armani Exchange, CK Essentials, Maral, etc.
So far, we've discussed 3 segments: haute couture, ready-to-wear, and diffusion. These 3 segments collectively form the high end of the market, consisting of luxury brands, fashion designers, and a few premium brands. Owing to the smaller consumer base, it's often regarded as a niche area, especially for the companies in the first 2 segments. This plays against the interest of the company to maximize their profit. For this reason, companies establish smaller brands which fall under the wings of the original parent company. These brands were called second or young lines. This practice was brought about in the 70s by Italian and American manufacturers to drive up their sales volume by offering products at lower costs that were more accessible to the consumer market. Some prevalent examples are DKNY by Donna Karan and Versus by Versace. This practice is now prevalent in India as well, with fashion designers establishing their own diffusion lines. Some examples are Maral by Hema Kaul and Essentials by Arjun Shalaja, both established fashion designers in the Indian industry. The next segment is called Bridge, aptly named as it acts as the bridge between the high-end market and the mass market. This mid-range segment was born in American department stores, characterized by its lower costs. The key focus of this segment is to provide customers with the right level of creativity while maintaining the optimal value for money, making it convenient for customers to access and purchase them. In marketing terms, this segment offers an optimal marketing mix of product and price for consumers. Although brands in this segment do not offer products that are as fashionable as brands in the higher segment, they still offer trending products at good value whilst delivering optimal utility, making it ideal for budget-conscious consumers seeking fashionable products for daily use. Brands in this segment sell their products through both wholesale and retail channels to maximize their reach and subsequently increase their sales volumes. This segment is very diverse, with second or third line brands from established companies such as Emporio Armani and Max & Co. Another characteristic about this segment is that premium brands do not always associate themselves with established designer names, but rather with certain lifestyles. For example, Coach, a prevalent brand in this segment, associates itself with a sleek and sophisticated lifestyle. Another example is North Face, a company that has made itself famous for its association with a rugged, outdoor, adventurous lifestyle, and subsequently offers products that focus on utility over all else. The next segment, called Mass Market, represents the lowest rung of the fashion industry and is characterized by the largest sales volume with the lowest profit margins, forcing the companies to focus on efficiency above all else. Earlier, products in this segment were very homogeneous and undifferentiated, but this segment of the industry has gone through rapid evolution with the introduction of concepts like fast fashion, through which companies offer new product lineups every 4 to 6 weeks based on trends and even seasons. Furthermore, brands like Inditex and H&M, both prevalent players in this segment, have now begun to sub-segment the mass market into smaller segments based on demographics and even occasions, allowing them to reach more customers and add more value to specific sub-segments. Let's elaborate this with the example of Inditex. Inditex has multiple brands under its wings, one of them being Bershka, which focuses more on youthful audiences with a product lineup that is more focused on teenagers. Inditex also has brands like Zara and Massimo Dutti, which focuses on more sophisticated target audiences and offers formal wear as well. Its target audience is typically men and women between the age of 25 to 50 belonging to the upper economic classes. Which brings us to the conclusion of this video. We hope you've learned a lot about the fashion industry and how it's segmented from the company's perspective. Please do like, share and comment if you did.